What's going on? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the boxing clinic one time for the one time. We back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Checking out the Chris Eubanks Jr. Arthur Abraham card. Think Kid Gala, he just won. And watching another card I'm not familiar because I haven't been paying attention. The other fight just kicked off. Definitely be giving an immediate reaction video to the Eubanks Jr. Arthur Abraham aftermath. And the winner goes on to the World Boxing Super Series tournament to the quarterfinals. Let's talk about Andre Ward. Now, Andre Ward, he beat Sergey Kovalev twice. However you want to look at it, he beat him, knocked him out the last time. And now he got momentum now. Last time he got momentum like this is in the Super 6. He didn't capitalize on it. Bad business decision. Now, we all wanted to see him versus Adonis Stevenson, period. Or the winner of Kovalev. We've been wanting to see Kovalev versus Adonis Stevenson for a long time. And for whatever reason, the fight hasn't been happening. It didn't happen with Kovalev the first time because Adonis Stevenson brought it over to Showtime. And the second time, Adonis Stevenson, whoever was bidding for him, won the promotion. And Kovalev had an obligation to fight on HBO and didn't want to leave HBO. So the fight didn't happen. The thing with, Andre Ward is, Adonis Stevenson called him out right after the fight, said, I want to do it. Andre Ward said, I don't think he's serious. And now Adonis Stevenson is going to fight Aldir Alvarez, the guy who fought John Pascal on the Stevenson and Andrew Fonfora undercard. Not really overly impressed with Alvarez. I would be shocked if he beat Adonis Stevenson. Don't see it happening. A lot of people, including myself, is growing more frustrated with Adonis Stevenson fighting mid-level and low-level guys and getting top dollar. Andre Ward just made $6.5 million fighting Kovalev, so he really wants to capitalize on this momentum, man. It looks like he want to go where the money's at. Money's overseas, fighting Tony Bellew at cruiserweight or heavyweight. I think it's more likely going to be cruiserweight. If they get in talks, and I remember Andre Ward telling his stablemate Brandon Gonzalez not to go overseas versus James DeGale, because it's some fishy shit. And Brandon Gonzalez went over there and got knocked out. Hasn't been back since. So Andre Ward's been one of those guys that has not been a promoter of going overseas. So I don't see him going over there fighting Tony Bellew unless the bag is right, talking about the money. And, perhaps it is, because in the Super 6, him being the lower level, didn't even have to travel. Miguel Kessler came to Oakland, I don't think he left. He didn't leave California until the finals until he fought Carl Froch in Atlantic City, which was deemed to be a neutral site by distance from, Nottingham into Oakland to Atlantic City. And like he's not trying to make the same mistake twice, and hopefully negotiations with Tony Bellew come through. But we really want to see the Adonis Stevenson fight become lineal champion. But it's obviously somebody on Stevenson's side doesn't want that fight to happen. If it's his promoter, I believe his promoter is Javon Michaels, or if it's Al Heyman, or is it Adonis Stevenson that don't want the fight happening. I'm starting to think it's Adonis Stevenson who doesn't want the fight to happen, who just bought a new boxing gym, I think, up in Canada and doing good things. And the reason why he gets top dollar where he fights is because he fills out Canada very well. Now, this is the question. 3 minutes and a half a minute into the video, what if Andre Ward was the cruiserweight and dominated the cruiserweight division? Where would he rank in your all-time great list, or is he already an all-time great? Or where would he rank? Would he rank above Roy Jones? Would he rank above Bernard Hopkins? Would he rank above Floyd Mayweather? Would he rank above Manny Pacquiao? Would he rank above Sugar Ray Leonard? Who else? Marvin Hagler, who never moved up in weight. Would he rank above Joe Calzaghe? Or do you rank above Joe Calzaghe now? Where would he fit in the pantheon of greats? If he was to beat Tony Bellew for the cruiserweight title, the WBC cruiserweight title, Tony Bellew still holds it. He moved to heavyweight for David Haye. I don't understand how David Haye lost that fight, but he did. Tony Bellew proved to be tough. And, he just looked horrible, putting on that heavyweight weight. He looked bloated, like he just wasn't in shape. But obviously, body shapes, body looks don't matter in boxing. He was stronger than David Haye. And I don't understand. I didn't see that coming. I don't understand how David Haye lost that fight. But it's David Haye, one of the underachievers in the sport of boxing. He's probably the top 5 ever underachievers in the sport of boxing, especially at heavyweight. And if he was to go on to beat Tony Bellew, which is not out the realm of possible thinking, because Adonis Stevenson knocked him out at light heavyweight, and I don't understand how David Haye couldn't. Maybe the weight, or maybe his weight drain himself could be very well, and he was able to beat the winner of the World Boxing Super Series tournament. and become the lineal, undisputed or lineal or just the undisputed champion of Cruiserweight, where would he rank? He would beat Tony Bellew, and according to this Cruiserweight, seeding, Alexander Usyk is the top dog, which is, I'm not overly impressed by Usyk like a lot of people is, but you can see he has some skill. He's a good, strong guy, and that'll be a tough fight for Andre Ward. I don't even know if I could put Andre Ward. I have to see him how he looks at Cruiserweight. But if Andre Ward was to take that route, and he accomplished it in impressive fashion and dominated, his third weight class, where would he rank? I'm not sure off the top of the head. I would have to really deep think about it. But I think he would definitely be in my top 20 all-time greats just by doing that. I think that's an unbelievable feat to conquer, especially in this day and age when guys don't dare to be great. And he will be considered the man at 3 different weight classes. He was the best super middleweight. He was the best light heavyweight, and be the best cruiserweight. Legitimately be and say he was like the #1 champion in 3 weight classes. You don't get that. Legitimately, like people say, oh, Floyd Mayweather moved up 5 times, but did he beat the best? Pacquiao went all the time. Did he beat the best of the weight? All the time. I don't know. You have to go back and look at it. Just not the ability to say, oh yeah, I think Pacquiao, was the better fighter. Now you're looking back 10 years, behind. So, what y'all think? Where would he rank? We gone.